At 70 years old, I thought I had finally earned peace. After losing my husband a decade ago, my world had narrowed to my son, his wife, and my granddaughter, the three people I believed would stand by me till my last breath. But I was wrong. Terribly wrong. That Tuesday started like any other, a checkup with Dr. Harris, my trusted physician for nearly 20 years. But that morning, he seemed different. His usual warmth was replaced by tension. His hands trembled slightly as he checked my pulse, and he wouldn't meet my eyes. "Your results look perfect," he said with a forced smile. "You're in excellent health. Many years ahead of you." Something about the way he said many years ahead sent a chill through me. I reached for my purse to leave, but before I could zip it closed, Dr. Harris slipped a folded note inside, quick and discreet. "Take care of yourself, Mrs. Collins," he murmured. "And remember, not everyone around you wishes you well." My heart skipped. What did that mean? Why the secrecy? I didn't dare open the note until I was in the taxi home. My fingers trembled as I unfolded the paper. In neat handwriting, it read, "Don't go home. Run. They're planning to declare you mentally unfit. You're in danger. Dr. H." The air left my lungs. They? Who could he mean? My family? No, impossible. My son David had always been caring, devoted. His wife Clara helped me with my medications. And my granddaughter Emily, she was my pride. Still, when I stepped inside the house, something felt off. The laughter that usually filled the room was gone. David and Clara were whispering in the corner, papers scattered across the table. Emily sat on the sofa scrolling her phone, her face blank. "Mom," David said quickly when he noticed me. "How was the appointment?" "Everything's fine," I replied, trying to sound casual. "Dr. Harris says I'm perfectly healthy." A silence followed, too long, too heavy. Clara exchanged a glance with David, one that made my stomach twist. They looked disappointed. That night at dinner, no one spoke much. The air was thick with tension. When I finally went to bed, I couldn't stop thinking about the note. Was it possible? Could my own family, the people I'd sacrificed everything for, be planning to lock me away? Sleep refused to come. And when I finally heard their voices downstairs in the middle of the night, whispering again, I knew something wasn't right. They think I'm too old to notice. But I heard every word they said, and it changed everything. The clock read 2:13 a.m. when I first heard it, muffled voices coming from the kitchen. My heart pounded as I slipped my slippers on and crept to the door. I recognized their voices instantly, David, Clara, and my granddaughter Emily. Dr. Harris refused, Clara hissed. "He said your mother's mind is perfectly fine. We'll have to find someone else." David's tone was low, sharp. "Relax. There are other doctors who'll sign the papers if we pay them enough. We'll get the legal guardianship one way or another." Guardianship? My breath caught. Emily's voice joined in, cold and impatient. "How long is this supposed to take? My college admission deadline is in 2 months. I need the money now." I pressed my hand to my chest, struggling to stay quiet. "You'll get it," David said. "Once Mom's declared incompetent, everything transfers to me. The house, her pension, the savings. We'll be set for life." There was a pause, then Clara's voice, cruel, almost mocking. "I didn't marry into this family to babysit an old woman. She's lived her life. It's time she handed things over." A rush of anger and disbelief burned through me. These were the people I'd raised, fed, loved. The family I'd built my world around. Emily laughed softly. "Grandma always acts so perfect, like she's some saint. She can't even cook without burning something. And that perfume she wears. Ugh. I can't wait until this is over." The words cut deeper than I could have imagined. My own granddaughter, the one whose hand I held through every fever and heartbreak. Then David spoke again, his voice lower this time, darker. "If she refuses, we'll make her think she's losing her mind. We'll switch her pills, hide her things. In a month, she'll start questioning her memory. Then no one will believe her." My knees went weak. I gripped the doorframe to keep from collapsing. They didn't just want my money. They wanted to destroy me, piece by piece. When their voices faded, I stumbled back into my room and shut the door. Tears streamed down my face, but underneath the heartbreak, something else began to rise, resolve. They thought I was weak. Helpless. A senile old woman who couldn't protect herself. But they had no idea who I used to be. Or what I was still capable of. I opened the drawer beside my bed and pulled out a small leather journal, the one with all my hidden accounts, investments, and assets my husband had left me before he died. They thought they were stealing a few $1,000s. They had no clue I was worth millions. They wanted to destroy me for money, but now, I had a plan to destroy them with truth. By dawn, my tears had dried, replaced by something sharper, colder, clarity. If I stayed, they'd take everything. My home, my freedom, my mind. But if I left quietly, I could fight on my own terms. At 5 a.m., I packed a small suitcase, documents, cash, medications, and my late husband's watch. I slipped out while the house was still dark, leaving only a short note on the kitchen counter. Went out for errands. Be back later. But I wasn't coming back. I called a cab and asked the driver to take me to the Rivergate Bank, the only place where I still had a private safety deposit box. Inside were my husband's investment papers and details of my hidden offshore account worth over $2.3 million. I withdrew enough cash to sustain myself for a while. The young teller eyed me curiously. "Are you sure you want this much, ma'am? Traveling with that kind of cash?" "I'm sure, dear," I said, smiling faintly. "For the first time in a long while, I know exactly what I'm doing." From the bank, I took another cab, this time to the Royal Crest Hotel, a quiet, upscale place far from my neighborhood. The suite smelled of roses and fresh linen. For the first time in years, I locked a door that belonged only to me. I sat by the window, watching the city come alive, and cried again, not from weakness, but from release. That afternoon, I contacted attorney Gregory Lang, a well-known legal strategist who specialized in elder protection cases. When I played him the secret recording I'd captured of David and Clara's midnight plot, his face hardened. "Mrs. Collins," he said, "what your family is doing is more than betrayal. It's fraud, coercion, and elder abuse. I can build a case so strong it'll make them wish they'd never tried." For the first time in days, I felt hope. "Good," I replied. "But I don't just want justice. I want them to face everything they've done, publicly." Lang smiled. "Then we'll play this smart. Don't confront them yet. Let them dig deeper. I'll have a private investigator start today." That night, I sat at the hotel bar, sipping tea instead of wine, and wrote the first line of my new journal. They wanted to bury me. Instead, I'm going to bury their lies. I checked my phone, 20 missed calls from David, 10 from Clara, and 5 from Emily. I turned it off. They thought I was scared. They thought I'd run away. They were half right, I was running. But not from them. Toward their downfall. They believed they'd won. But by the next sunrise, I would hold every weapon they feared most, evidence. Within a week, my quiet hotel room became a war room. Every morning, Attorney Gregory Lang and his investigator arrived with new revelations, each more horrifying than the last. Clara had secretly opened 5 credit cards in my name, spending over $40,000 on luxury vacations and jewelry. David had lost his job months ago and was using my pension to cover his gambling debts. And Emily, my sweet granddaughter, had been telling her friends that I had Alzheimer's, using that lie to borrow money for my treatment. Every discovery felt like another knife in my heart. But instead of breaking me, it sharpened my resolve. Then came the final blow. The investigator uncovered that David had met with a known document forger. They were planning to create fake medical records proving my mental instability. I sat frozen as Lang spoke. "They're not just trying to control your money, Martha. They're trying to erase who you are." That was it. The time for silence was over. The next day, I called a press contact, an old friend from my late husband's newspaper days, and arranged an interview. Then, that night, I did something my family would never expect from their helpless old mother. I went live. Sitting in my hotel suite, camera steady, I spoke calmly. "My name is Martha Collins. I'm 70 years old. And this is the story of how my own family tried to destroy me for money." I told the world everything, the secret note from Dr. Harris, the midnight whispers, the credit card fraud, the forged documents. I even played the recordings. Within an hour, thousands were watching. The comment section filled with outrage and love. When I mentioned the names, David and Clara Collins, my phone rang. It was David. "Mom, turn that off right now," he yelled. "I can't," I said softly. "Truth doesn't come with an off switch." The next morning, it was everywhere. News anchors, social media, radio, all talking about the grandmother who fought back. By noon, the police and federal agents had already contacted my lawyer. The forger had turned out to be an FBI informant. My family's attempt to falsify records was caught on tape. When the trial began, the courtroom overflowed with reporters. I sat tall and calm as the prosecutor played the same audio I once heard through my bedroom door. Every lie, every betrayal exposed. David and Clara were found guilty on all counts: fraud, conspiracy, and elder abuse. Emily, shaken and remorseful, testified against them, and in doing so, found redemption. Months later, as I watched the sunset from my new home, Emily beside me, she whispered, "Grandma, do you ever regret it?" I smiled. "No, dear. I regret believing that love without respect could ever be enough. They thought they could silence an old woman. Instead, they taught her how to roar, and the world listened." If this story touched your heart, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story so more people remember. No matter how old you are, it's never too late to stand up for yourself.